Hey everybody, welcome back to the business end. This is, you can see we're driving the Sultan RS Classic with Camber. I'm going to talk quick here because this is a quick race. We're going to kill two birds with one stone and talk about the Camber, and we're talking about the track itself. So there's a lot of stuff to remember. It's an easy track, but it's also the biggest one people make mistakes on. So there's our first shortcut. We're going to miss it. We're going to go straight through here and try to carry as much power as possible through it. Just kind of get on the brake a little bit. Come back in here, and then you're gonna. This is the area to just again pour on speed. So right here we're gonna go up. This is actually going to be a crossover if you don't take a shortcut. So remember that later. And I get pushed in so that I have to take the inside shortcut, and I do a little bit of curb boosting here. But this is your second shortcut. Take that for sure. And this one is, even though it doesn't always seem it, it is definitely a huge shortcut because you can cut off a ton of space here. Now we're going to come in here. This is where you're just make sure you don't hit any walls. Don't try to just try to get that diamond spot there. And then you're going to want to turn this thing around as quick as possible. Now that right up there, that bridge is our next shortcut. So if you go up above, you're going to be crisscrossing. But if you go here, you won't encounter any other cars. I have had people hit those, and I think it's important. So here you're going to just kind of get off your gas enough to get through this turn. Find your diamond area. It is dependent on each car. And that's the thing, is that's how you win, is having the most speed when you come across the finish line. So you want to carry as much speed as possible. So now on to the idea of we're using a Sultan Classic. We're using it cambered all out. Now some people said that the camber setting on this allowed us to have more control. I'm going to actually argue with that because it did not have better control for me, but what it did was it allowed it to break out earlier. So to put that in short terms, it would be the less camber you have, the more control you have, and the more camber you have, the more speed you have. And that's a kind of a balancing act. I don't know if they changed that because this is a specific LS handling flag. But we get a lot of speed on this track, and the reason we do is because it's easy to handle here, and it's a very fast track. If you take the camber out of this car, you're not going to go as fast on this track with this car as you typically would. I still think, regardless of what your setup is, that the Calico is the fastest car, so this may not be a big deal for you. But if you do like using your Sultan and you want to keep using it for everything, it's the car of your choice. You might have to have two cars. Now, I don't know. I'd like to hear in the comments what you guys run. Do you run heavy camber? Do you run no camber? Do you have two cars with two separate cambers? I actually have one, and I've taken the camber off. I just use the Calico for this track. The other fast track is the county crossing track, which this all cambered out would normally supposedly be really fast on that track, but with the dirt and everything, it has no control. So there you kind of put yourself in a position. Most of the street races are going to be performance oriented or control oriented versus being, you want to have more control versus more speed. So that's how I have mine set up, because I think on whole it does what it does. But I really don't use the Sultan Classic RS that much. The reason is because a lot of times you race these races and they have catch up on, or they have, slipstream, catch up, all the stuff that's in here. So you're never going to get your top speed, because with catch up it really slows down the first place guy. I just love this area right here because you can beat a lot of people right there by, remember to kind of balance how much power you're sending into the corner. You don't want to spend a lot of time going in the wrong direction, but you want to get it turned around while carrying as much power as possible. So that's a very winning section of the track. So like I said, with the Sultan, it gave us an opportunity to kind of discuss this camber thing and kind of show you what I had for results here. So if you see somebody going faster, maybe it's because they have the camber set up, maybe it's because they don't. But that thing is, I do want to hear from everybody. If you can put it in the comments and tell us how you run your Sultan, even if it's not your favorite car. But like I said, business end, it's very, very simple track. It really is the only one that you just, you miss one of the shortcuts in there. You can obviously go over the bridge if you like, but for me, the time that you spend in the air is time lost. So I'd rather just spend it on the ground. And those shortcuts that you have may seem tricky at first, but I mean, even this section down here going around the truck is going to be a tricky position that you're going to have to get used to. But I think that's why this track is kind of a fan favorite, if you will, is because people have that perfect balance. So I hope you find yours too. So if you like the videos and you're winning some races with some of the advice that you're getting, I want you to hit that like button. If you're not getting any wins and you just hate all the advice, then just thumbs it down and move on to the next video. But if you want to keep coming up with this, there's that subscribe button, hit the bell icon. We're going to check out that playlist in the end there, so you have more and more stuff to check out. We're going to keep updating it over time. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you later.